What's up guys, Caleb with Black Pearl Media here. Thank you so much for stopping by. And in this video, I'm gonna be talking about the 5 first modifications I think you should do to your car. First of all, welcome if you're new to the channel. My name is Caleb and I do a lot of automotive content. And in this video, I'm gonna be telling you what I think are the 5 basic first modifications that you'll see a lot of benefit from. So for this list, I tried to take into consideration 5 modifications that would build a good base for any kind of build that you might be interested in. So like a show car, track car, street car, drift car, all of these things are gonna come into play. So let's get into the list and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So for the very first thing, I think you should lower your car. And when I say lower your car, there's 3 different things that come to mind. One is lowering springs. That's gonna be your most budget-friendly option. The next is gonna be coilovers, which you can get coilovers very, very budget or very, very expensive. So I'm gonna call that the middle ground because you can, get something reasonably priced that can fit your need. And then also air ride suspension. Air ride is very expensive. It's more geared toward show cars and really slamming a car down. But it can be used in a bunch of different options. But I'm gonna say coilovers because it's right in the middle. You can kind of go really expensive or you can go pretty budget. So coilovers would be my number 1 thing. And here's why. When you lower your car, your center of gravity goes down. So you get way better handling, a lot more grip, and it just feels a lot more responsive, at least in my opinion. You're also making the car look better. I think most cars, if you lower them down at least a little bit just to get that wheel gap out of there, then I think it looks a lot more appealing. I think some guys who are scared of coilovers or lowering their cars, they're afraid of getting like way too low, but I don't think they quite understand it takes a lot of work to get your car completely slammed on the ground to where it's not very drivable. With a conservative drop, just getting rid of that wheel gap, then I think you are totally fine. Second thing on the list is gonna be wheels. Wheels are very, very fun because they can really unlock some customization to your car, especially paired with coilovers. And those wheels can be very, very fancy. They can be very basic. They suit 2 needs. You can go really extra and get some show car wheels that are really, really nice, or you could just get some basic RPF ones, which are lighter. They make some really good sizes so that you can fit, larger brakes, things like that, and be focused more on the performance side of things. So if you pair up your coilovers with the wheel that you want, you're gonna get a whole new look that's custom to you, and you can also get performance out of that wheel that you choose. Wheels can also be gotten in a wider stance, so you can fit a bigger tire. And as we talk about tires, let's jump into number 3, which is tires. Tires, I feel, are so overlooked and they're so important. They are the number 1 contact patch between your car and the road, and if you have some junky tires, I mean, it's just not gonna be the same. You can do all these modifications, but if your tires are trash, it's almost for nothing. Now, I'm not trying to recommend any tires. You guys can do a ton of research on that. That could be a whole nother video or 10 videos in itself. Whether you're tearing up back roads and twisties, or you're going on track, or if you're drifting, different tires do different things. You want to do your research on what your path is, what your goals are for your car, and you really want to get the tire that suits your needs. Don't overlook tires, please, I beg of you. Item number 4 on the list has got to be your exhaust. So when you get a new car, it sounds good, it's exciting to you, but you drive it around a couple months and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna start modifying this car. I want to make it my own. Lowering the car with the coilovers, wheel and tire package, it's looking really good. The next is sound. Sound is so important. I feel like it's one of the most satisfying modifications that you can do to your car. After you're done working on it, installing your exhaust, and you turn it over for that first time, and you hear that wonderful note. Whoo-wee, it's just heaven on earth. And that's just the cold start. You get in that car, you drive it around town, you hear yourself going through tunnels, you're revving for strangers. It just happens. We've all done it, we've all been there, and it is an awesome modification to do to your car. My tip when looking for exhaust is really do your research. Make sure that you know what sounds good for your platform. There are some cars that just sound absolutely trash with certain exhaust, but there are some exhausts that are for that platform that actually make it sound half decent. That's coming from a Nissan 350Z driver, and our trumpet sounding motors can sound so trash if they're straight piped or overly loud or something. But there is a lot of nice exhausts out there on the market that you can choose from that really make the VQ sound beautiful. Coilovers, wheels, tires, exhaust. 5 is going to be an aftermarket car seat. Seats are also multifunctional, so they can look really, really good in a car if you're just doing it for the looks or the comfort, but it's also got some performance applications as well. Who am I kidding? It has copious amounts of performance applications. That is what's holding you in place. Any drifter will tell you that you need to be hugged into your seat, otherwise you're just gonna be thrown around. Same thing with track drivers, same thing with autocross, but if you're just gonna be driving it on the street or going to car shows, you like having those nice comfy seats. They look really good in the car, so they do accomplish 2 different things. So guys, that's the list that I have for the 5 first modifications I think you guys should do to your car. And I kind of looked at this in this way. If you're starting off and you want to go to your car shows and hang out, and then later on down the road, you're like, you know what, maybe I want to try and go on track a little bit, maybe do some autocross, do some track nights, do whatever you want to do. These modifications are hand in hand. You know, they make your car look good, but they also you can make that transition and go into the track and only have to tweak a couple things. I know because that's what I did. I did go to a lot of shows like when I first started modifying my car, but then when I was like, you know what, I want to try and do some track days, all I had to do was raise my coilovers up a little bit. I already had good tires, so I was able to go out and have a lot of fun and be safe. And then you kind of build the modifications off that. There are a ton of options. You can go a lot of different ways with your cars, but as far as the first 5 like fundamental modifications I would consider would be what I just listed. I want to hear from you guys. Did I miss any? Do you disagree? Put it down in the comments. Let's have a discussion about it. While you're down there, hit that subscribe button for me, and I'll see you on the next one.